This is Ireland's rural west, a ravishing but tough landscape from which it has never been easy to scratch a living. Once, young men and women departed these shores in their droves in search of a better life. Now the talk is of emigration once again. Why? Well, because Ireland, the great Celtic Tiger economy, is bust. Its government forced to slash and burn, its people taking those cuts really badly. It's easy to see why. Eileen Gleeson's primary school has served its community for many generations. Now she faces the prospect of its closure.
A school like this is the very focal point of the community. It's a community where we don't have another focal point. We don't have a post office, a shop, a church, a community centre. And the school has been here for almost 160 years. That's a very long history. It's impossible to imagine that somebody in Dublin can sit at a table and decide with a stroke of a pen that it seems like a good idea to close the rural schools. You can't get rid of that amount of history with one stroke of a pen.
But it may yet happen. The Irish have had to act so drastically and rapidly because the markets began to spook at the level of debt building for every man, woman and child. So all spending is taking a hit. Farmers like Tom Turley have seen their subsidies savagely cut. He thinks many of his friends simply won't survive.
We currently have imposed upon us about €8,000. And that comes off an income at the moment of about, the CSO figures for the average full-time farmer in Ireland, which I am one of, is only 19,000.
So that's a devastating cut.
Devastating.
How are people going to cope with that? I mean,
I don't honestly know how we're going to cope. I don't think we can survive.
But here's the horrible truth for us. Where Ireland has led, we will almost certainly have to follow. The Irish are in massive trouble, and I'm just going to get out our battle board here to explain why. They're currently running an annual overspend of some 12.9% of national income. That's more than ours, which is 12%. But they are dealing with it. They're proposing €4 billion of public sector cuts. That's €1,000 per person here. So 17,000 jobs can go, salaries are likely to be cut by 7%, and welfare bills by 5%. And what is the relevance of all this? Well, our annual deficit is likely to shoot up to 14% next year, so most people reckon that this is our future. And the man who made these proposals here has a simple message. You've got to cut everything. Not everything, say nurses like Anne Burke, surely not health, something even the Tories in Britain have promised to ring-fence.
Nurses are telling me every day that if 5, 7 or 10% comes out of their salary, even more, that they will have to leave this country, that there'll be no other option.
So Ireland is suffering, and communities that never saw the boom will now pay.